Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Just because I can, and I continue with the sinking city, Blind. Now, there are a couple of points of interest near the Devil's Reef Hotel. There is, for example, the Oakmont Chronicle and the police department. It's overall a pretty large area of unsunken stuff, roads. Although, funnily enough, it seems that the hotel itself is like separated from this by water. The hotel itself is actually, the entrance to it is located on a flooded piece of land, so I need a boat to cover this very short distance right here. Let's do it then. Oh. That's pretty interesting. I guess I can't disembark here. But I'm pretty sure there's a boat on the other side as well. Yeah, right. For sale or lease. Hirsch clothes for men and women. Okay, seems to be closed. I'm pretty sure that person is dead. He isn't moving. And this guy is supposed to be saying something, but there's no sound. Which is a bit annoying, because if he is like a doomsday preacher.
Almighty will punish the wretched by sending terrors unnamed creeping from the abyss below. Atone for your deeds before it's too late.
I guess he is a preacher. He was telling me about K Almighty, which, funnily enough, they still haven't explained to me who K is. Like, it's obvious from context that
5 bullets and I'll let you go around the world, sweetie.
That it's some kind of a local deity, but they haven't elaborated upon, what she or he stands for, or even from where did they, first start worshipping it. How did they come across the mention of it? Because obviously it is a pagan deity of some sort that is probably unknown in the wider world. I have never heard that name, so I doubt it's any kind of real god. Well, real. Obviously, what I mean is any kind of god that is worshipped by real people. Just to be clear, from my perspective as a player, no gods are real. I am rather staunchly atheist. I think there's no good reason to believe in any kind of god. I must say, overall, I am a little bit disappointed so far with the exploration in this game. Like, there seems to be a lot of running around for not much gain. There's a lot of empty space, in this game, and especially the sunken areas are kind of pointless to me. Like, if you take a look at this map, it could have been shrunk down considerably if not for the fact that you have to take a boat to go from here to here, but seemingly nothing ever happens while you are on water, so it seems to just bloat the game, and generally I'm not really a fan. I'm not really a fan at all. There's some kind of an obelisk, but it isn't, like, there's no description on it, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent. But let's visit the police station, although it seems to be barricaded. Oakmont Police Department. That's an interesting symbol, because, like, that's weirdly weirdly Masonic to me. Like, there's the Eye of Providence and like a pyramid, or it can be alternatively, what's it's called, that, I don't know that English word, but you know, that thing that you use to make circles with. Which is one of the Masonic symbols as well, and then there is a star, a crescent, and like a, I don't know, something. Let me grab the fast travel point, and just to have it for later. Can I? Nope. Can't get onto a tram, which I guess makes sense because half the tracks are submerged.
Hello, officer. Well, look who finally decided to show up. If it ain't Charles Reed, the genius that cracked the case of Albert Throgmorton. Captain Caleb Lyons at your service. What can we simpletons do to assist you, Mr. Holmes?
Do you and I have a problem, officer?
No. Aside from making everyone in the Oakmont Police Department look like idiots, let me be frank, newcomer. You ain't welcome. You slip up, don't cross a T or dot an I, and I'll treat you like every other criminal here.
Okay. Well, can I use the police archive in the meantime?
You can, but only because of Mr. Throgmorton's patronage. And heed me well, you're on mighty thin ice, and I'll be under it when it breaks. Don't waste my time, newcomer.
Okay, it's probably not going to be appreciated if I snoop around, but I will, because obviously that's what the game is about. Oh, and this is specifically the police archive, I guess, so to do that, I'm actually allowed. Fool's Gold. Send gunners. Let me take a look what that's about. What's that about? A man called Vincent wants to hire me. No, that's not that. To whom it may concern, I heard someone has finally taken up my case. I'm glad a professional is working with me on this. I've heard people say I should get professional help. Now this time I have a plea for you. I am in danger. I have managed to procure one of the gold trinkets, which has made me the target of the fishman. I am being watched and followed. Please send an armed escort so that I can be transported to the safety of the police department. My house is in the South Advent on Purity Road between St. Michael's Road and Powderhouse Street. Regards, Simmons. Now, I think I know what this is about, because the Innsmouthers, they got themselves rich back in Innsmouth by getting gold from the deep ones. Like, it was like mystical gold, like from the bottom of the sea or whatever, and it had a specific look, I think, as well, so it was kind of iconic to Innsmouth itself. So I think that's the gold trinket that he is referring to, and that's why they are after him, because they consider that their gold. Let's take a look at this. AD, choose evidence. What are you talking about? I read this already. Crimes. Violent crimes. What? Select 3 criteria. I don't... What? I don't understand. What am I trying to even do here? Let me take a look. What are my actual... what's my actual case? Look for the survivors of the expedition that are alive. Now, where did that... where do they live? Coverside. So let's try going... I don't know, complaints, witnesses, Coverside. Okay, this is not... Oh, okay, I can cycle through them here. I'm not sure, it didn't work before, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so it only works on a given thing that I have chosen, but I don't think I can find anything regarding this. So let me take a look. Mystic Tomes. This is not exactly a crime, is it? Oh, letters from Oakmont. I have not read those. I have a whole bunch of notes. The hotel owner allowed me to look through the weird notes he found in the rooms of the disappeared newcomers. Among them I found several pages from the diary of a man describing the life in Oakmont. He suffered from visions and marked the places where they happened. Was he trying to avoid them? Forlorn women. This city, no matter how badly the flood damaged it, has an unnatural appeal. I can't stop myself from walking, even if it means being struck by further visions. I went to the eastern part of town, of Salvation Harbor, near the crossing of Fitz-O'Cahalan Street and Old Church Road it came. The feeling of loneliness and fear was immense. I was a woman locked in a room, infected and slowly rotting. My body turned into something. It itched badly in my face. I had to hold the skin with both hands to prevent it from growing, until I suffocated. I ended up sitting on the road, crying, until some Innsmouther kicked me and ordered me away. A lone child. The visions are testing me, playing with my mind. My old forgotten fears come to life. When I was small, I was afraid to stay alone. I thought my parents would leave and never come back. Today I went to the eastern side of Coverside, and the visions came on the corner of the street of St. Elmo Lane and Kingsport Street. I felt I was alone, forgotten in a locked room, hungry and frightened. It was scary to stay inside, but everything was much worse behind the door. Something scratched in the corridor, and there were terrifying screams from the outside. I could not run, they could not hide. I just waited for Mum to return. Mirrors. I'm afraid someone stalks me. It started when I visited Western Advent and had a vision at the intersection of Purity Road and Oak Street. I saw mirrors full of reflections and someone trapped, trying in vain to escape. His expression of panic and fear shook me deeply. After that, a very tall and skinny man started following me in the distance. What troubles me is that I see him in reflections, but have never caught a straight view of this stalker. I'm sure the police will mock me if I come asking for protection. Seems it is time to buy a good, trustworthy gun and start to practice. This disgusting exaltation. No matter how different my visions might be, they are always terrifying. Today it was man. He left a house in Southern Old Grove on Warwick Street, somewhere between Seaside and Hillside Streets. Our eyes met, and immediately I felt burning exaltation, a wild torrent of emotions. I saw him among the monstrosities, touching them, embracing, kissing. The vision was so intense, I bent in two and threw up all my breakfast. He walked past, saying something like, "Curse newcomers." I prayed he wouldn't stop to help. Even now, when I close my eyes, I see the creatures around this man. Call of the ocean. Tonight the air forced me to leave the hotel. The putrid smell of rotting seaweed and fish made it hard to breathe. I remembered a huge apple tree and thought it might be nicer there. Moreover, I was afraid that the hotel owner would see my seizures. The visions occurred when I was a few blocks away from the apple tree, walking E. Brown Street in the Central Shells. I felt like I was drowning. I ran forward, and when I passed the street of St. Michael's Church, I felt the water surrounding me, pressing, calling. I needed all my will to fight the desire to go to the mayor and sink to its depths. Static in ears. I was walking the Lambert Street in the Eastern Reed Heights when it happened again. It's not just a vision, but a noise, a hissing radio static, growing louder and louder. Voices from afar were lost in it, crying desperately. I tried not to show how bad it was. I was afraid to reveal it to the locals. The images came after I passed Bullock Street towards Hillock Street. The hissing flooded my mind, and I saw a man surrounded by radios, talking to them. He was dying, I felt it, and when it happened, the vision was gone. Voices from the pipes. I'm afraid of the bathroom and the kitchen sink. Each time I want to wash my hands, I tremble in fear. What if they will talk to me? This began after a vision in Western Reed Heights, near the crossing of Avon, Ward, and Baker Streets. I saw a man, naked and covered in blood, in a room without doors or windows. Surrounded by the dark holes of the pipes, he was cutting himself piece by piece, feeding those copper mouths. They were whispering with voices so sweet and promising, but full of hunger and hatred. How could he believe them? Could he even escape? And had they noticed me? From behind. I cannot help but turn around at any noise after what I saw yesterday. I walked down the Murdoch Avenue in Western Advent. Near Oak Street, I was hit with an excruciating migraine. My nose started to bleed and the visions came. I saw one man writing a letter and another about to strike him from behind. Somehow I was both the spectator and the sitting man, but no matter how I cried out warnings and tried to move, it didn't work. It seems I lost consciousness when the killer hit the man's head, and it took several hours to get back to the hotel after. Terrible fetus. After this vision, I shake in fear at the sound of a child's cry. It happened in the Western Reed Heights on the Washington Street. I passed Avon Street and was heading towards Oak Street, but I saw it. The thing was running so fast I didn't even understand what it was. It jumped from the window, and the vision struck me immediately. I saw a man, a doctor, hiding in a room. He was writing something with a shaking hand, something like a last will, and then I saw the thing stalking him, a fetus on thin pointy legs, with a little face full of evil and hatred. It's shrieking. I can't forget it. Innsmouther notes. The local Innsmouthers scare me a lot. I've never seen a place with so many eel people. Their faces pursue me even in visions. Recently I was in the northern part of Grimhaven Bay, walking down Whisper Street. I barely made it to Hubert Avenue when the visions came. I stood among many Innsmouthers, disguised as one of them, and listened. Their leader read a story of a captain participating in pagan rites, copulating with savage witches and beasts, bringing sacrifices. I still remember his name, Obed. Yeah, that's Obed Marsh. He was like the first of the Innsmouthers to strike a covenant with the Deep Ones, where they would give him riches, the aforementioned gold from the depths, and he would give them like people to mate with, among other things, and also like they would praise the great old ones, whom the Deep Ones serve. Lullaby Crossroad. Today I fell asleep on the street. I'm sure it's connected to my visions somehow, because I felt the same nausea and headache as before they strike. It happened in Coverside, near the corner of Tanner Street and Old Church Road. I felt dizzy and my mouth was full of bittersweet taste. I saw a woman with kind eyes, giving me a drink and whispering something. Immediately after I fell asleep, and spent near half the day lying in the dirt like a hobo. It's a miracle no one stole anything from me. The hotel owner allowed me to look through the weird notes he found in the rooms of disappeared newcomers. Okay, I read that already. I'm not quite sure what to do with it so far. Bounty from the sea, find the pride. Like, this is not a crime either. I don't think I can even use the archives at this point, because what I have here are not really like, I guess what I have so far are not really crimes, are they? Like, I'll have to get back to this. I could have sworn I saw the stairs. Yeah, right, but they are locked. Okay. But there's a newspaper building nearby, which would be this way.
What's your problem?
Okay, this is like a small park. Pelagic Brewery, Viridian Ale. Keep yourself aloft. Oakmont Chronicle. And you shall know the truth, and truth will make you free, right? That's a quote from the Bible, is it? Like, that's a quote from somewhere very prominent. I feel embarrassed right now to even be hesitant about it, but I'm pretty sure it's from the Bible.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Help me out here. What's the connection between newcomers and old newspapers?
It's cold sleeping in the street, and they come to collect the old newspapers for warmth.
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers, the archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case. Nice work. I'm Helen Bland. Say, can you do me a favor? Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland.
Sure, we can do it right away, if you want. And to be honest, I think she's being a little bit... how do you say it? She's being a little bit cheeky when she says it's the best newspaper for miles around, because I'm pretty sure it's the only newspaper for miles around. I got the impression that Oakmont is located like in a very remote area.
Do you still want that interview? I got some time now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
I'm a private eye in Boston. The situation in the port was a good use of my skills.
Well, Detective Reed, I think you'll find our city has a lot of secrets, but people may not like you poking your nose in. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont?
Am I tracking down missing people? I'm not sure. I don't think that was established. I'm specifically here... Although I guess maybe I'm kind of am, because I guess I was investigating the cases of madness and hysteria, so maybe those people who experienced those have disappeared afterwards. But this seems to be more true to what I believe is the correct answer.
Currently, I'm tracking down the source of the psychic phenomenon that's been causing madness and visions all across the country.
Ah, yes. It affected people here, but we were much more concerned with the flood. Though Robert Throgmorton sent an expedition.
Yeah, and then hired me to find it. Ironic, don't you think?
I think that's enough for now. I can't give the readers too much all at once. Thank you for your interview, Mr. Reed.
My pleasure. Maybe I'll do something interesting enough to make the papers again. You never know. See you later.
Stay safe.
Seashell, the great new perfume. John and Russ. Shoes are such good value. Why not have style and comfort? Well, I don't know. Probably because of lack of money.
What's your problem?
Editor's office. That's a very famous still life picture. Like, I don't remember the title or the artist off the top of my head, but I know it's sort of well known enough that it appears, like, I think it appeared in my high school textbook. So I'll try to look down the source of it and post it in the description. If I remember to do that when I'm editing it. Okay, someone was investigating Throgmorton, I guess? And this looks like Throgmorton kissing another man, which is interesting. You've also got the clan. I wonder if there are clansmen here in Oakmont. It sure seems so, because they point to a specific location. And obviously with the amount of racism going around, they would feel probably right at home. So, what's my purpose here? If I couldn't, browse the, if I couldn't browse the, what's his name? If I couldn't browse the archives after all, like, what's the purpose of this location even? I read all of this already, so I'm just going to mark it so that the tab is clear. Okay, I'm a little confused by this location. Like, what's even the point?
Stay safe.
Hey, knock it off.
That is a giant pile of trash, it seems. Which, the height of it is actually rather impressive. If trash might be impressive. You think this would be a location I can enter, but apparently it's not. Okay, it's pretty weird how there's supposedly nothing here. Like, where is the meetup place for the people from the expedition? Coverside, a crossroad of Asher Road and Hubert Avenue. So Coverside is where I am. Asher Road and Hubert Avenue. Okay, so it's actually somewhere over here. So this is very interesting because it means that the game doesn't really mark the important locations, or at least most of them. It doesn't actually mark them on the map. I have to find them manually by looking up the roads in the objective log. Although maybe I have spoken too soon, because there is some kind of a marker on the map right here. Asher Road and Hubert Avenue. And that would be somewhere over here. That's a pretty interesting, if rather unassuming, building.
Guess I don't need the key.
Yeah, and I guess this is the place, so I definitely have to pay more attention to the roads described in the objectives, because it isn't marked in any way on my map. I had to literally find it by cross-referencing the street names with the map, which is a nice way to do it, and it makes a lot of sense, sort of in-universe. But I was, I'm a bit weirded out that apparently places that are not crucial are marked on my map, but I guess that makes a lot of sense when you stop thinking about it as a video game map and start thinking about it as a real map, because obviously a police department or like the most important newspaper or like the university would be depicted on a map as places that are sort of useful to the public, whereas this random flat that serves as a meeting place for the local like explorer society or whatever probably wouldn't. The dangers of diving. Divers with the bends can suffer from numerous symptoms, including pain, impaired movement, nausea, vomiting, and disorientation. Acute symptoms can occur within 10 minutes of surfacing and include paralysis, numbness, blindness, deafness, dizziness, seizures, confusion, and words coming out all weird. The paralysis and numbness can involve several different parts of the body at the same time. I guess this is talking about decompression sickness?
Someone smashed it beyond repair. Someone smashed it beyond repair.
I guess that was a gramophone. They have like totems and stuff. Maps.
Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? Can't say I ever saw another shell like it.
I'm already at capacity for everything. Like, at this point, I would actually fancy a fight just to use some of my resources.
These samples glitter in a weird way. I wonder where they came from.
Fisherman reports. L. Sullivan and B. Morgan, local fishermen, report numerous large bubbles and an unbearable stench rising from the bottom of the sea. Brought a sample and weird substance floating in the ocean from J. Harvey. He claims he found it among numerous dead and strangely deformed fish. The fish were taken for analysis. Several locals mention a rock that rose from the seabed, making the fog shine with different colors. The witnesses felt sick and dizzy for 3 or 2 days after the incident. Al Stern got severe burns after chiseling off a part of the rock in his basement. Samples taken for analysis. H. Doe, anthropologist. The Oakmont University Department of Anthropology welcomes the newest addition to its ranks, Professor Harriet Doe. Her brilliant discoveries about the origin of Inuit tribes have added a new page to the history book of humanity, and now Professor Doe will embark on a new expedition to hopefully shed light on the source of the flood, and in doing so, shed light on what may yet to come. I'm not exactly sure why you would take an anthropologist on an expedition to the seabed. It's not like you wouldn't ordinarily expect to come across any humans down there, but I guess, you know, the people of Oakmont probably know that the deep ones exist. Well, the Innsmouthers for one definitely know, because they interbreed with them. So maybe they were expecting to meet something that would be sentient, even if it wasn't entirely human. There are like birds floating around. Okay, I guess a secret passage has been opened right here. Are you hostile, or can I somehow question you? Okay, just wanted to be sure if he would shoot me. After he did, I assumed, you know, I am entitled to act in self-defense. Partially burned cargo manifest. The following must be delivered to Grimhaven Bay no later than Friday. Diving suits, air tanks and pumps, canned food, personal belongings, research equipment, air pipes, phone station and wires, power generator, responsible for delivery, unreadable.
Guess this helmet's beyond repair.
Got a new Mind Palace clue. So let's take a look at it. Cargo manifest. Okay, but I don't have to. I don't have anything to link it with. The cargo from the expedition was taken to the Grimhaven Bay pier. So would that be like over here? Grimhaven Bay pier. Or here maybe. Like, those are very specifically docks, I feel like. Not exactly a pier. Oh, I can view past events. Okay, so I assume that's the Innsmouthers praising Dagon. Obviously, the esoteric Order of Dagon was an important institution in Innsmouth.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
We don't have time to picket. Stand back.
Okay, so they broke in.
Grab the papers. Smash the rest.
Time to figure this out.
Obviously, they had to break in first.
We don't have time to picket. Stand back.
But it seems like they are taking the crates downstairs. Obviously, they broke in first, then trashed the place.
Grab the papers. Smash the rest.
I'm not quite sure what this, like, what were they, because it doesn't make sense. That they are carrying stuff downstairs rather than taking it out, but then they tried to burn the manifest of the things for the expedition.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Several men broke into the expedition headquarters. What they didn't smash, they burned. The archives, even the newspapers.
Okay, let me craft more bullets. The expedition archive is lost, but I still have clues to follow up on. They left the city on a freighter from Grimhaven Bay. There might be recent postings or ads about the freighter in the Oakmont Chronicle. Okay. But I'll gather the stuff from up here because I should have more space in my inventory now.
Can't say I ever saw another shell like it.
Stay safe.
You will often need to look for useful information within various city archives. Archives contain topical information. For example, the City Hall holds general data about citizens and organizations, while info about specific categories of people like criminals or patients can be found in police or hospital records. In the casebook, evidence may have a hint icon indicating where you need to go, to do some archive research. In the archive interface, select the piece of evidence you wish to investigate, then choose 3 criteria to search relevant information. Okay, but where are even the archives for the newspaper? Oh. Okay, I do feel dumb. That's a pretty large desk. Okay, so what I'm looking for is this, right? And the time is after the flood. People is commoners. Section is advertisements. Search. Ship freight advertisement. The 30-ton ship Titania is currently available for hire. You will find it fully equipped for transport, as well as the aiding of underwater ventures and exploration, for the price of 70 rifle bullets or the equivalent thereof per week. Those interested are urged to contact Captain Jeremiah Sanders for contracting details. He can be found at Pier 3, Oakmont Port, Grimhaven Bay. Okay. Pillaged headquarters. Now actually, I might also be able to look for this, the Pride. although not necessarily. I have an actual address to look at here, so maybe I should just go there first. But for now, I guess it sends me to Pier 3 over here. In the port, it specifically name drops the port itself. Oakmont Port, yeah. I think that's where I'm going to go, but before I do, next time I'm going to view all those other things and see if any of them point to places in Coverside, because obviously there are addresses in each of those. So if there's something nearby, I should probably check it out. But I'm going to do it next time because this episode has been long enough. So I'm going to save and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.